Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to play with some new makeup, and it's from a brand that I have never tried before, and I can't say that I was really ever that drawn to it, but I am excited to play with it. So this is the brand Beautycounter, and of course you would know that if you saw the title, but this is a more clean beauty brand, and according to my friend who sells this makeup, she's the one who lent me some of these products. So I didn't actually purchase any of these. She lent me 2 eyeshadow palettes and a lipstick. And what's interesting about them is that even though you can purchase through somebody, just like you could for something like Avon or Unique or things like that, you can go to Beautycounter's website and just purchase on your own. You don't have to buy it through anybody. Obviously, if you have a friend who sells it, it's nice to buy it through them. And, you know, if you are interested in buying any of these things, of course, you can let me know and you can buy it through my friend, but you can also just go directly to their website and purchase off of there. I would imagine you also get more perks or deals if you buy it through somebody else. And the thing is that this is definitely a pricey brand, and that tends to be the case with more green, clean beauty brands. Sephora definitely sells some of them, and you'll notice that the price point is a little bit higher because it's more natural ingredients, and I guess it just kind of goes that way. So I'll let you know the prices for these things. Their website does have Ebates, so that's something to keep in mind if you use Ebates, and if you don't, what are you doing? You should. I'll put a referral link down below. It's not like I'm sponsored by them or anything, although I wish I was. But you know, I can just give you a referral link, but it's one of those things, like, it feels like too good to be true, but it's not. You just get money for shopping online. Anyway, they sell makeup, they sell skincare, all kinds of things, and it's very natural. I've actually heard some of my YouTubers that I watch talk about their eyeshadows, and I had heard some good things, so I'm excited to play with them. She lent me 2 of them, and part of the reason she lent me 2 is because the one that we both thought would be fun for me to play with is this one that's the Statement eyeshadow palette, because it has a lot of really fun, bold shades in here. But there aren't really any mattes in here. There are some that are a little more satin that you could probably get away with using as mattes, but there really aren't any mattes in there. So then the other one is the Romantic eyeshadow palette. This one obviously has some softer shades, but also it has some mattes in there. So I figured I could come up with a look, just a combination of these 2. And they also have another one that she owned that is more warm tones, but I've definitely been really into cool tones lately, so I thought these would be fun to play with. These little eyeshadow palettes are $50 a piece, so that is a pricey eyeshadow palette, especially for one that is only 9 shades. A little bit on the expensive side. However, this is, you know, like I said, it's a clean brand. So if that's something that's important to you, then you might want to spend that higher price point to get something like that. The warm tone one is called the Classic one, by the way, because I'm looking at their website right now. They also have a much bigger eyeshadow palette that has a kind of a mixture of warm tones and cool tones. It's basically like 2 of these palettes put together, and those are $89. So that's pretty expensive. Oh, they also have another one that she didn't have that's called the Iconic. She couldn't lend me any other products really because, you know, something like a base product, we have different skin tones. She obviously couldn't lend me a mascara, things like that. These were the things that really would make the most sense for me to borrow. Their website tells a lot more about them if you are curious. If you have any actual questions though, you can put them down below and I can ask my friend to give me some of those answers. Now that we've gotten all that stuff out of the way, let's jump into the eyeshadows. So I did all of my face. I haven't done blush, highlight, or lips yet, just so that we can kind of do that together because I don't know how this look is going to turn out. I really don't have any plans as to what I'm doing. We're just gonna kind of play and see what happens. I'm gonna try and do a nice mix of these 2 palettes to just see how they work. I have mentioned this, I do normally do my eyes first these days, but for the sake of this video, I am going to go ahead and do my eyes after I've done my base. So I'm gonna be a little more careful than I would be if I was doing my eyes first. I'm gonna just start with a sort of transition-y type of shade. So I'm going to start with the shade Brulee, and this one is in the Romantic Eyes palette. There aren't too many mattes in this one either. It looks like really these 2 at the top are the only true mattes. There are definitely some more satin ones, like this one looks like it's a matte, but it actually has some like shimmers through it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell that, but it looks really gorgeous. All right, so let's dip into Brulee. Not too much kick up, I will say. You can see that. I definitely was kind of going hard in there, not bad at all. This looks like it will be a good transition type of shade. Definitely a soft shade, not a shade that would work well if you have a darker skin tone, but if you have around mine or you're fair, then this would probably work well. Okay, so that's a nice place to start. I will say there's not really like anything in between something like this and going much deeper. So I think we kind of had to just go for it. So I think I'm just super curious about the shade Smolder right here, which again has, do you see that? Yeah, I think you can tell it has like this amazing glitter throughout it. So I feel like can work as a matte, but it'll be interesting to see how much you see of that glitter when you put it on. It's such a fine glitter, so I feel like that might work really well. I want to swatch it just so that I can see. Yeah, I feel like it might work well as a matte, but I'll be interested to see how that shows up on the eyes. And it does stain a little bit, so that's a good sign as far as longevity. I don't feel like I'm seeing that glitter at all, which is disappointing. I mean, the shade is performing well, and I mean, we'll have to see how it blends out and everything. As far as pigment, you know, we're in good shape, but I'm not really seeing that glitter. I don't know, you know, how you could use it to see that. Maybe I'll try patting on a little bit with my finger in a second and see if that makes a difference. Let me try a little bit with my finger, because I feel like you can see it, but and I wouldn't normally apply a matte with my finger, but let's see if we can see that at all. I think you can see it a tiny bit more when I add it with my finger, but not like crazy. So it's pretty, but I definitely was hoping to see a little bit more of that glitter, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so let's see how this blends out, because so far I think that it does really nicely pigment-wise. I'm gonna take a tiny little brush, this little Sigma E36, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade. This may crash and burn, but I really wanna play with this matte too. And I definitely wanna keep tapping these off because this one definitely fell a little bit on my face. So I think that's working pretty well. I don't know that you see it that much, but I think that it blends out really nicely. So far, so good. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that Smolder shade. Yeah, I think that they blend really nicely. Not that I've had experience playing with the mattes too much, but so far, pretty good. I'm getting super warm. I think I need to take this jacket off. My goodness. That's what happens in the winter. It's like you're cold, you're hot, you're cold, you're hot. I also, in case you don't follow me on Instagram, I was talking about this in my stories, but my husband and I both got strep throat, which sucks. But I will say that I'm so thrilled that my daughter didn't catch it, or at least not yet. Although at this point, my husband and I will be on antibiotics for probably about 24 hours. So I don't know how she didn't catch it. It's kind of crazy, but that has sucked for many, many reasons. But this is the first day that I've put on makeup in a while because I've been just sick. So I'm still not 100%. So forgive me if I'm a little bit flat today, but I'm doing my best. It does feel good to play with makeup though, I will say that. So I want to play with some of these shades now because I haven't done that yet. So I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of Mulberry, which is a dark shimmer. I think I'm going to put a little bit of glitter glue on my lid for many reasons, for the transfer, for the fallout. I want to put a couple different shimmers on the top there. I want to brighten this up a little bit too, so I'll put something more on the inner part that's a little bit brighter, I think. Don't know what yet, but we will see. All right, so I'll try with a brush first just to see how it does on its own, but if I need to spray it, then that's fine, I'll do that. or I'll see how it does with, oh, a lot of pigment comes off, so that's a good sign. All right. Ooh, that looks really pretty. Definitely a smoky look for my Tired as a Mother shirt, but that's how I roll. You know that if you watch my channel. Okay, so that looks really pretty. I'm curious though, if I did spray it, how much it would be different. I don't know. Let's give it a try. See if that does anything. Well, a little bit. Not that huge of a difference though. Okay. So we'll do that, and then let's see. Let's watch a few of these and see what we think, because I just don't really know what I want to do. I definitely, like I said, I want to brighten it up a little bit. And let's see, so this is the shade. So these are two of the lighter shimmers down here. This is this one, that's that one. So that one could be pretty. Well, I have it on my fingers, so let's just go for it. That looks pretty. Has a little bit of like a pinky tone to it, so that kind of goes nicely with the purple. All right, so I'll take that all the way in. Let's get a little bit more. I want to try wetting that one too and see how it does. And then I need to add more of the purple mulberry. This lighter one is called Cider, by the way. Add more of that to blend the two together. All right, let's see how it does wet. Okay, not a huge difference, but I also didn't use it with the brush. I used it with my finger, so, you know, you can kind of see. All right, so let's add a little bit more of mulberry, the purple, just to kind of blend them a little bit. Switching between. All right, I'm gonna do the other side. All right, so I think that looks really pretty. I think that so far they're performing really nicely. I think the shimmers are shimmers. They're not foiled shadows, so if that's what you're looking for, which I like both. I mean, I probably like more of a BAM type of shimmer that, you know, more foiled than I do just kind of soft shimmers like these, but they're still really pretty. They can pack a punch if you really, you know, work to get there, but you know, they're not super punchy either. Now there are these shades in the middle, and it seems like all of these palettes have a shade in the middle that looks like a more foiled chunky type of thing. I don't know. The one in this one, the Romantic Eye, I swatched this one before and it's really a topper. So I'm kind of curious to see how that would look on top of this. We'll see. And then this one, Crown, is much more of like a foiled, like chunky thing. So it's definitely a little bit chunky and flaky, and it doesn't really go with what I'm doing right now, but that's kind of a cool shade. And so you do have that in there, just not all of the shades. It's really just that one shade. But I am curious to maybe put a little bit of this Moon Dust. I think that maybe I might put that like on the inner corner to give it a pop, because the shimmers are softer. That may be what I'm going to do. So let's go on to the lower lash line. I just did a little bit of eyeliner, nothing crazy. There really isn't anything for me for the brow bone. Totally okay. But you could use, you know, depending on your skin tone, one of these shimmery shades. Like there's this one called Bone in this palette, which I probably will use. It's not super shimmery. I usually like to go for something a little bit more matte, if you know me. And then there's this one that's a little bit darker. It's called Candlelight. So, you know, there are options. I might put a little bit of this Bone shade. And then I might put that on the inner corner too. And then, like I said, I'm gonna maybe top it with that fun little topper shade. So let's just do that. We'll go lightly. If I need to top it with a matte, then I might, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's a little more shimmery than I would go, but it's okay. I mean, you might like a shimmery brow bone. I'm not super into that. Not bad though. It's not bad. Just blending that in a little bit. I think I might top it with Wet n Wild Brulee. This is just a matte shadow here. Just gonna top it with that so that I can kind of tone it down a little bit. If you need a brow bone shade and you're my skin tone, and you don't want to like, you just want to pull something in with palettes that don't have it, this Wet n Wild Brulee is so cheap and it's really good. So we did that. I'll kind of blend out the edges a little bit there. And then I'll go on with that same shade in my inner corners in just a bit, but let's do the lower lash line first. So I think I'm gonna go into this palette again to do my lower lash line. And I think that I wanna go in with this Peacock shade because I think that will tie in with that Moto shade in the corner there, this one that I used to sort of like go on the top there. So I'm going to wet that one though. I may take a little bit of glitter glue just so it sticks and I don't end up with fallout all over my face. It's pretty. It's not maybe as bright as I would have thought it could be, but it's nice. It looks really pretty. I think that's really pretty, actually. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that just for something different and fun. I think that's really pretty. So I'm going to take this bone shade, put that on my inner corner, and then I'm going to put that other shade on top. See, this is pretty. It's you know, subtle, but it's nice for the inner corner because it's brightening, but it's not like, well, it can be bright. It could be pretty bright. That looks nice. So then we're going to take a little bit of that moon dust. I'm going to take a little bit of my glitter glue again. This glitter glue is like the star of the show today, right? Just gonna take a little bit of that and pop it on top so that it has something to stick to. All right. Because I feel like it is the kind of shadow that would do better with your finger, but I think for that little spot, I think it would just be better. Is it doing anything? I think that's really pretty. It's still fairly subtle, but it adds a little something extra. I think that's pretty, actually. What do you think? I like that. So let me put something in my waterline, and then I will do some mascara, and then we'll go on with the lip color. So, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. I hope they still sell this. It's a Rimmel Scandaleyes that I think will match this really nicely. It's in the shade Blamed Blue. So we'll put that right here. Yeah, that goes really nicely, doesn't it? So I'm gonna add some mascara and I will be back and we will do the lips. All right, so I love the way that this eye makeup turned out. I think it's really pretty. You know, so my feelings on these eyeshadow palettes. Now, obviously this is only my first experience and obviously I haven't played with all of the shadows, but my experience is a good one. I think that these are really, really good. I think if you are looking for clean beauty makeup, this is a great choice. It is pricey, but again, that is typically what you get with a clean beauty brand. I probably wouldn't go out of my way to buy these just because I have so much that I love in my collection and that's not really a priority for me. And so for this price point, I would go for something like Viseart, you know, and there are plenty of other things that are less expensive too, but they're really nice. I think that they performed really well. I wasn't like blown away. Like, I mean, it takes a lot to blow me away because I've tried a lot, but I was very impressed. I really, really liked these. They did not disappoint me. So I think if you are interested in trying them, and I think if you want to try some beauty that is a little more clean and natural ingredients, then this is a good way to go. So let's try the lip product. That's the last thing that we have, and then we'll be done. Now, I will say, this lip color is not really what I would go for with this look. I mean, let's be honest, I would probably go for a nude because that's what I usually do. But maybe I'll like how this looks and I'll keep it on, but I might not, so we'll just see. I am going to keep on the eye makeup though, and I will pin a comment down below letting you know how it lasted, if anything, you know, faded, if I was disappointed, you know, in its performance by the end of the day, anything like that. This one though is, it's a color intense lipstick. They have ones that are a little more sheer, but this one is an intense one, and it is in the shade Sunset. So it's definitely a darker shade, and probably not the color that I would go for if I'm, you know, Just wiping off my lip balm, by the way. If I was gonna wear a bold color like that, I probably would go a little more like simple on the eyes, but for the sake of this experiment, we're gonna use them all together. It has a little bit of like a minty smell to it, which is not my cup of tea usually, but I know a lot of people like that. So I'm gonna do my best to apply this with you. Let me get a good mirror so that I can kind of do this as much in your view as possible without blinding you with the light that's in my mirror, because I am not very good, and I kind of want to not use a lip liner because I want to just see what this looks like by itself. All right, let's see. Definitely a lot of pigment, and it does feel cooling too. I don't think it's meant to be like plumping, but it does feel cooling. A nice amount of pigment though. It is intense, like it says. I'm not good at applying lipstick without lip liner. So even though it's intense, it's very creamy. And if I was gonna go for a bold color like this, I probably wouldn't go creamy, because I would worry about it more, you know? Really rich in color, and I will say it's very comfortable. You can tell it's really hydrating. Again, I would be a little more nervous about wearing a color like this bold and bright, you know, without either a lip liner or just in general, because it's so creamy. But it looks really pretty. It doesn't accentuate the lines in my lips, which I like. I think it's really nice. It does feel a little bit cooling, which again is not really my thing. I know I said minty wasn't really my thing, but cooling is also not really my thing. Like, I'm not a fan of the Buxom lip creams and things like that because I don't love that feeling, but it's not bad. It's not like it's staying or anything, but I think it's very flattering on the lips. So I think this is a really nice formula. Let me tell you how much these cost, by the way. So these lipsticks are $34. So that is pretty pricey. You can buy them in a duo for $49, so that's obviously a better deal, but they are pretty pricey. It's up there with, like, you know, the YSL pricing and the Chanel pricing. It's definitely like a luxury brand type of price point. Now, like I said, I'm enjoying the feel of this, and while this isn't like the color that I would typically go for with a look like this, because both are pretty bold, I don't usually go like bold for both. I think it looks really pretty, and I do like it. I do like the way that this looks on my lips right now. I might keep this on for a little bit. We'll see. Again, this lip color makes me a little nervous, like I'm not going anywhere, but it does make me a little bit nervous because I feel like, you know, if I just move in the wrong direction, it's gonna go everywhere. But I think it looks beautiful on my lips. So I think for like a lighter color, this looks like a really nice formula. I don't know how long it would last. But we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and add some blush and highlight because I haven't done that yet. I almost forgot. Can you believe that? Because I'm so not used to doing it in this order. So I'm just gonna add that on, and then I will come back real quick. We'll wrap it up. I'll tell you what I put on. So I just put on Tarte Party Blush because I wanted to keep it pretty neutral, and I put on Mary Luminizer by The Balm. Gorgeous highlighter, and it's in my project for 2019, my project pan. So all in all, I think that the products are great. I think they are pricey. You know, I hate to keep repeating myself, but that is just to be expected with a clean beauty brand. It is going to be at a higher price point, but I think you're not lacking in quality. I think if you like some of the things that you've seen, you're not going to be disappointed. I think that this lip color really impressed me. I really like the formula of this. Again, it's a little bit darker than I would go for a formula like this, but I do really love the way that it feels on my lips, and I love the way that it looks. I think it's very flattering. And I think that the eyeshadows performed really nicely. I think that they have a little bit of something for everybody. You know, they definitely have some nice different tones, and I think that you can come up with some really cool looks with these, and I like these little small palettes. I think that's really nice. They're pricey, but you're not gonna be disappointed, I don't think, in the quality of them. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried anything from Beautycounter, and if you have, what your experience was, what you liked, what you didn't like. If you wanna buy anything from somebody, just let me know. I'll let my friend know. I know that she was really curious to see how I would feel about these products because she knows that I'm a beauty lover and that I play with a lot of makeup, and she was definitely curious to see what I thought about these things. And so I thought, why not just, you know, play with it in a video? I thought it could be fun, and it's always fun to try a new brand and something that I haven't tried before. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.